Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to today's video. I'm Chris. Hello, friends. It is the February 2nd. Let's take a look. The markets continue to be quite volatile here. If you look to the right here on the daily time frame, it is pretty much all over the place with several attempts of breaking below the 50-day moving average, then attempting to make a new all-time highs a couple of times. We've made it up here at about 7,043. Then we fell down Thursday, Friday last week, and today we got lower overnight, and then we had a pretty bullish day throughout, and we closed towards the highs. So definitely a lot of interesting developments in here. And if I take a look, I'll get back to Bitcoin here in a second. Sorry, but if we take a look at the S&P, it's continues to kind of act in such a way that both of these are fairly possible. I know this doesn't help much, and I'm not here to give you exact direction over the next several weeks. I let the market dictate that, and I'm trying to follow if I can. But again, I would not be surprised to see this as I've explained last week in some kind of a leading, that begins after this corrective wave here, and then for a move that can continue towards 7,500. Now, the way the market is being pulled apart, we noticed, I think on Thursday and Friday last week, we had an expansion in the new highs and the new lows. So there is interesting developments. The bull bears. It's bullish now at the top, and it's we have stocks that are coming down, stocks that are continuing to kind of pull forward. It's been a broken market in my view. I continue to say this since October last year, and it's not it's not really. You have to be in very specific stocks to be able to catch gains. So. If we do break, let's say below this low back here, we can start to say that, yes, again, we're focusing back towards downside. If we break below this low in here, one would think that the normal approach would be to accelerate positions and continue to hedge and maybe even short for a deeper pullback towards this fourth wave low. If this is the right count, again, I'm a bit, unsure of this, and it's it's normal, but let's see how this goes. Again, the S&P likes a lot of direction in here, so I'm just kind of watching it. Now, if I go and I take a look at Bitcoin, let's see how this looks. I'm getting some messages here, but all right, let's see. Bitcoin, I got two counts for you, right? So we have the count that we're following as this was a major wave one top, and we are in a wave two decline with this B wave, being the swing that kind of has to be taken out for this market to brush off and to accelerate the bullish sentiment, and that would be the place where I would start to get involved in Bitcoin if we're trying to get back above these levels. Right now, you're in a downtrend. What I do like about this is that it's coming into the area of the previous wave 4, which then sends me thinking that this could also be something that we could be working where, we've done actually a wave 3 top back here in a 1, 2, extended wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 with the fourth wave in the previous wave 4 low, and then from here we can go. That head and shoulder is ugly, and we're right at the lows of it. We try to break below it, we're bouncing back. This could be just a way of the market of punishing the short, and they might try to squeeze it higher a little bit. If we get back above this level, I think we could be pretty safe that we have a low in place. You're really not out of the woods actually until you make new all-time highs, but that's the way it goes. So we'll see. We could be getting a bounce in here just to kind of punish this late short sellers, and we'll see kind of how that reacts. But if we can stage some kind of an impulsive move here, we can look on the daily time frames and see if that starts to kind of form. We're getting above the moving average. So yeah, if I put the chart of Bitcoin here on the daily time frames, you can see, that we do have we do have quite a bit in here to recover until we're getting back above these averages. So this drop has been sharp. From a value weight perspective, it doesn't look like it's done. We would need another 4 and another 5, one more drop, and then we could start to bounce. But again, this is definitely going to take some time in here. So going back to the count again, I'm between a wave 4 and a wave 2. They're both would point upwards, with the exception that a wave 2 would probably have a bit more to go. And we've only pulled back 23% of this maybe entire move in here as we're looking at it. Yeah, that would have been at like 76,953. But the trigger would be this 98,000. If we can get back above this level, then that's good. It doesn't look like we have any sort of equality between the waves. If I do a measure between wave A and wave C, 100% would be at about 62,000. But that's this again. These are just measured moves. Again, they don't have to happen. More importantly is that we're holding this fourth wave low, this previous low in here under both circumstances. If that happens, and we start to move back up higher, then that's going to be definitely a signal. And you can see, I mean, by that time you would be all the way above the swing high. Mind you, this will take time, and the 20-day moving average is pointing lower, the 50 days pointing lower, the 20 days. So it's going to be, kind of a one step at a time. And this move in here, right, this appeared very corrective. We tried to, play a few games by counting it, trying to find some kind of an impulsive structure in it. But you see how hard that was to do. And this is what shows you that you might not be in the right count when you're basically struggling to count things impulsively in here. Let me go back to Bitcoin. So if I go, let's say if I go here on the daily time frames, we've had it as a possible, some kind of a diagonal in here and a possible. So it was like a wave 1 and a wave 2 diagonal because the market was reacting, but all it was just forming a wave 2 bounce, and then down we go. So the first break of this of this line was correct back in here as it broke, and there was no power to actually get back above there. So again, the Bitcoin, through all this behavior, told us to stay away from playing from the long side, and that's the biggest thing you can take from here, because the pattern was not fully developed. It wasn't strong enough. It wasn't above key averages. It was struggling. So other than short-term plays, this pattern was a failed pattern. So now we pushed lower. If we look again, from a pure ABC perspective, again, it doesn't seem that there's got to be a bit more consolidation in here, and maybe one more low to kind of give it more of a clean 5-wave move in here. Again, it doesn't have to be clean, but that would be the idea. If the market has different thoughts, then it has to start climbing, and it's got serious work to do going forward. So we'll see how that goes. But again, with indices, being very close at the highs, with different stocks pulling in different directions, with Bitcoin already crashing lower, things are definitely interesting out there in the markets. And I will close off with showing you the chart of silver, on a wave count basis, so you can kind of see where I'm at. And we've been looking at this several times, but I'm going to go here on the weeklies, and I have had a couple of subdivisions in here that would allow for a couple of small fourth wave to continue, 4 and 5, 4 and 5. But because the sell-off was so aggressive, I've deleted those, and I'm cleaning up the count and just leaving it as as a basic 1 2 1 2, and then 3 4 and 5. So look, we pull back even with that kind of heavy crash that we had at the end of last week. This is SLV. It pulled back about 38.2% in this wave 4, call it, right? So we would expect some kind of a consolidation now, maybe a triangle, and see if we can stage some kind of an advance. And if you look here also, this wave 3 traveled about 161.8 of this wave 1, which again, in hindsight, these things start to pop out. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. That's the expectation. If this continues to drag lower and continue to sell off, then it's very likely that we might even have a larger top in maybe this wave 3 red, and then a larger fourth wave. But silver, it's notorious for for being volatile and for not having, let's say, very orthodox, let's say, tops in here. It could go out of panic into a fifth wave and then come back lower, just like natural gas does sometimes. So we'll see what happens in here, but definitely an interesting structure. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching. I will see everybody tomorrow. Bye-bye.